So with this next section, we have equations that have a more complex absolute value. And by more complex, what I mean is that there are more pieces to the puzzle. So with this, what I want you to think about is taking everything inside the absolute value, and we need to get this all by itself on one side of the equation. The way we're going to do that is we're going to first add 3 to both sides. That becomes 0, and then I'm left with negative 8 times the absolute value of 5x minus 2 is equal to 56. And again, we are trying to get everything inside between where the absolute value is by itself. So the only thing that's being left is this negative 8, and the negative 8 is being multiplied times that absolute value. So we do the opposite by dividing 8 by both sides. And we're dividing a negative 8. All right, so now this is something really weird here. What happens? I have the absolute value of 5x minus 2 is equal to a negative 7. Now, let's think about that for a second. Is that possible? And the answer to that question is no, because whenever you have anything that is inside that absolute value, it always must be positive, not a negative. So this is not possible. So this actually question has a solution that does not exist. And that is again because whenever you have that absolute value equation, when the answer comes out, it always must be a positive number. All right, let's try another one of them. And again, we're trying to get everything in between those absolute values all by itself first. The way we start is by subtracting 7 from both sides. When I do that, I am left with negative 8 on the outside, absolute value of 4x plus 2, still inside that absolute value, is equal to negative 56 minus 7. Excuse me, that is a negative 57 minus 7. So that gives us a negative 64. Now this time, when I divide both sides by that negative 8, the negative over a negative on this side becomes a positive, which is so much nicer because now I have the absolute value of 4x plus 2, because those 2 8s canceled out, is equal to 8. Now, again, it's an absolute value equation, so now I have to go through and do 2 different pieces. I have equation 1, where I have 4x plus 2 will equal my positive 8. And then I have equation 2, where I have 4x plus 2 will equal a negative 8. And I have to solve both of these. All right, let's go ahead and we're going to start with equation 1. We're going to start by subtracting 2 from both sides. And I have 4x is equal to 6. And then I want to divide by my coefficient, which is 4. So I divide both sides by 4. Now, you do need to reduce that. You can reduce both of those. To reduce the fraction, I ask myself what number evenly divides into 6 and into 4. And both of those are divisible by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So this then becomes 3/2. That's my first answer. Now over here on the other side, where this is, let's make that equal to negative 8. I said it, but I did not write it. Absolutely need to make sure we have that negative inside there. Same process, I subtract 2 from both sides, and I have 4x is equal to negative 10. Divide both sides by 4, And again, I want to reduce that. Both the 10 and the 4 are even, so they both divide by 2. And that leaves me with a negative 5/2. Now, because this one has 2 answers, again, how do you put those into the box? You're going to have the solutions are that colon, and then you're going to have the box where you enter them to. And the way you need to enter them in is 3/2, comma, negative 5/2. And that's the way you want to put them into the box to get the correct answer.